that freaking thing. What is going on here? Live chat. There we go. Yay me. All right. So, hope everyone's doing well. And another off-schedule pop-up live because my schedule is absolute garbage right now. Which makes it exciting because then when I do a live stream, y'all are like, oh, hey, a live stream, surprise. And it's kind of exciting. And I'm going to hit this tour bus if I'm not careful. So let's not do that today because that would suck a lot. But there's an ER hit here, so in case I do have an accident, I'll have an ambulance right by. I want to talk specifically about a report I heard today, a couple of reports this morning. You guys know I'm a business guy, so I follow the markets. Hey, Dan. Hey, Scott. Dan, I finally got your box, and I opened the box. Thank you for the goodie. I'm going to send it back to you as soon as I'm done with today's meetings. I got a couple of things to do today, and then I'll get that rolled to you. But thank you, man. I appreciate that. Anyway, I just want to give Dan a shout out while he was there and my brain's still working. Financial reports today. Hey, Scott. Hey, All-American. So the economic numbers have come out, and it's not pretty. So for a while, inflation was kind of flattening out, going down a little bit. And of course, the leadership is saying, oh, well, you know, our efforts are success. And as much as I'm not a fan of our current administration, if they can get inflation down and life can get a little more manageable for people working for a living, I'm okay with that. I want the good decisions to get through the system, so to say. I don't know if that makes sense. Hey, Teresa. Anyway, inflation has gone up after months of coming. Right, Militant, that's exactly where I'm going. So they will probably not reduce the interest rates. If anything, they may increase them. And inflation has gone the wrong way. And they've been fighting it. Now, keep in mind, the last couple of financial statements that were made by the government on jobs and the economy, hey, Shorty, actually wound up getting corrected 2 weeks later because either they fudged the numbers or they took preliminaries because they looked good and didn't wait for the finals. So there's a little bit of voodoo going on. So what I would recommend if you do follow financials, don't, dude, you have a stop sign, pendejo. Don't go by the most recent numbers. Go back a couple of months because by then they had to have fixed it up. Food inflation is going to be up. Yes, I agree. So the inflationary effect is going to hurt us in the next quarter, at least, until they figure out what the hell they're doing. In the meantime, we're adding about $500 billion a month, according to another report, in national debt. And when they're calculating and saying, oh, we're only 30 trillion in debt, they're actually including our assets. I did not know that. And that was interesting to learn that there's some voodoo in there where they're like, oh, well, the U.S. has assets like your home or your farm. Dude, are you turning or what are you doing? Let's go. Oh, no, you're going to make a U-turn. There you go. You hit the grass. Good job. Some people should not have an SUV. They don't understand them. In any case, some of these economic numbers actually include our homesteads, our properties, which you know a lot of states are not going to be on board with. But in any case, that's a whole nother topic for another video. The inflation's going the wrong way. Gold has taken off. Those of you who follow gold, it's been on the increase for over a week, which is usually not the case. Silver, 2 months ago, was $21 an ounce. It is now $28. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot, right? It's $7. But if you do the math, that's almost a 30% increase in pricing. Imagine if that is representative of other types of inflation. People are getting crushed right now. And if, you know, the economists say, oh, well, we added jobs. No, you added jobs back after 2020. The jobs were there, COVID hit, everything flattened out, and then it came back. Hey, Daryl. Hey, Militant. Hey, KP. And it came back. And these, basically, I don't trust the numbers, or it's they're delayed. The actual numbers are not coming out real time. They're coming out after the fact. And they have to come out by law. Thank you, Teresa. They have to come out by law because the government can't lie. What they'll do, and oops, yeah, it is all lies at first. So what they do, they put preliminary, but they don't announce it's a preliminary. They'll say, oh, here are the job numbers, yay. And then 2 weeks later say, oh, the final numbers are out now. In the meantime, people are thinking, you know, it's all a happy circus. It's not. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all blaha. And hey, oops. And hey, Red Dawn Readiness, long time no see. Glad you could join us. Hey, Jer, Mackenzie, I can't see your first name, so I apologize if I misspelled it or mispronounced it. But these financial numbers are a bit voodoo. So I would look back at least a couple of months if you want to look at that. So silver, $28 as of this morning. Gold finally went down 1%. It has literally increased by about 20% over the last couple of weeks. I'm hearing reports China, South Korea, a lot of countries are buying gold. And I'm wondering, well, why? I mean, everyone knows gold and precious metals are kind of a hedge on inflation. But why this sudden rush? Well, it turns out, well, none of us were paying attention because we didn't think about this. You know how our government froze Russian assets at the beginning of the Ukraine war? So there's 300 billion, something like that, in Russian assets that have been frozen. It could be gold is purdy. So the government is saying, well, if the war continues in Ukraine, we're going to seize Russia's money that we froze, their 300 billion in T-bills, and use it to fund Ukraine. And every other country that owns American treasuries is now trying to get rid of them because now they don't trust us. That's a terrible message to put out in the market. So basically what we're saying is we will confiscate private shit. Our inflation plan is not working. And we're kind of lying about the initial numbers. And if you're not knowledgeable enough to go back a month later and verify and validate the final numbers, we're going to play three-ring circus with what we tell you. And they don't want channels like mine, like Angry Pro. A lot of us have been getting dinged. They clobber the crap out of a couple of people on TikTok and Instagram lately for bringing stuff like this up because they don't want us talking about this, right? And I mean, a lot of people don't, you know, it's not something most people deal with day to day. I have to because of my job, and that's a blessing. As difficult as my job can be sometimes, the exposure to shit like this helps me better understand the machinery of the world around me. And it's really making a difference. But yeah, folks, so inflation not going the right way. Now, what do we do, right? Because we can't control inflation. We can't control, where you going, dude? People are driving confused. They're not even being like aggressive. They're literally discombobulated. Like, I don't know if there's something in the air, if there's something, people are watching too much news and they're completely distracted. But lately, it's just they're struggling day to day, not just financial, and it may be all tied together, right? If you're at work, but you're worried about paying your rent because you can't afford it because you had to buy groceries for your kids, you're not going to be tuned into what's going on. And it almost feels like we're being distracted to the point of not functioning right anymore. I don't know. Does anyone else feel like that? I mean, or is it just me? And people are not being ugly. They're just literally screwed up. Like, I went to the store and there was a family and they were like, holy shit, this is expensive. And it was a young couple with a little kiddo. And I looked at their faces, y'all. And he had a work shirt. Like, clearly this kid worked for a living. And it was a company I've seen, and they pay a living wage, right? These kids look stressed. And so I was like, hey, you know what? If you buy this and you can split it and freeze it, if you have a food saver. I didn't go into the prepping thing, just it became about economics. Here's a thought for you to do better economically. and they kind of calmed down a bit, but I'm seeing it a lot. And vote harder. So it's sad, but anyway, what do we do? Going back to my original topic, what do we do in light of what could be a turnaround in inflation not in our favor? Well, remember, I think I've said it before, and it doesn't always work. It works in an inflationary market, not the other way. Eat tomorrow on today's pricing, eat today on yesterday's pricing. I don't know if that makes sense. So chicken breast 2 years ago was 99 cents a pound at my Sam's here. It's now $1.99. It doesn't sound like much, right? Oh, it went up $1 a pound. That's a 100% increase. And when you look at it as a 100% increase, it's horrifying. Buy now if you think the price will go up. Beef has been hit because animals are getting sick. Chickens have been destroyed. Eggs, ergo eggs and milk will go up. Get those products now. If you know how to preserve them, if you have the ability and space to do canning, do that. You'll eat it eventually, especially if you have family. Militant, family of 8, 3 teenage boys. No, I had 2 teenage boys and a girl lacrosse player who was a mom, and those 3 would eat ungodly amounts of food. Youngest son, it's always the same. And one of my coworkers was crossing the street. I was gonna honk her and give her a heart attack, but then I know she's gonna throw shit at me, and I know she played softball and she throws hard. So I don't want to get beamed with a granola bar in the cafeteria because I scared the crap out of her on the stop sign. Hey, so I'm not sure if anyone can still see or hear me at this point. I think I just kind of fell off the grid in the parking garage. But in any case, depending on where... Okay, yay, circles. Look at the markets and see where what we would call, and the economic side, stress points. All right.